And the honor of candle lighting, I want to say today, is here with Joseph. You ready? Awesome. Do you need the stepladder?
What?
Do you want to use the stepladder?
To do what?
To light the candles.
Yeah.
Good. Step on it. And we're using...
Mommy? Wait, where are the candles?
This is the candle. This is a very long wick. You kind of have to start burning it there, and then it will burn all by itself until the flame reaches the top of the candlestick.
Like onto it? Is it hot?
Yes, it's gonna be hot.
Is it hot right now?
Yes, that is why you have a candle, so nothing can happen to you. It's super safe. Now you hold it against the wick. See? A little more. Wow, it's gonna be a big flame. And now this one. Excellent work. And now you blow out the blue candle. Yes. Great. And now we're doing what we always do. And we gather the light of the candles, the light of Shabbat, and the light of community. And then we sing together. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu להדליק נר של Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom, Beth Shalom. And for all of you who are new, and for all of you who are not new, but you haven't accustomed to this new custom yet, please come here for a second. We're going to start with Kiddush, with all the kids and everyone else here. The kids are going to have the very special little cups, and for the grown-ups, we have grown-up cups. So if I could have a volunteer grown-up to just let everybody have a cup, and then, yes. And we are going to make a big kiddush. This is grape juice, yes.
Why does it have holes? How does it get there?
How does it have holes? Because the grape juice is going to flow in there. So who knows? Do we start with the grape juice / wine or with the challah? No. We're starting with the grape juice, right?
And then we're going to
Bless
get
you.
a challah?
Yes. יום השישי ויחולו השמיים והארץ וכל צבאם ויחל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה וישפוט ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי ויקדש אותו כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם בורא פרי הגפן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר קידשנו במצוותיו ורצה בנו ושבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילנו זיכרון למעשה וראשית כי הוא יום תחילה למקרא קודש זכר לציאת מצרים כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת עם כל העמים ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלנו Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-Shabbat l'chaim. To all the grown-ups in the room, to the little people in the room. And if you are at home and watching on YouTube, then this is your time to have a sip of something and a bite of something too. Shabbat Shalom. All the little kids, did you? No. Every kid gets only one special cup. Shabbat Shalom, Asher. And Emma. Shabbat Shalom, Emma. Emma, here's yours. Here's yours. All good. Did everybody get some grape juice?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Amazing. So, for grown-ups, you can continue sipping. You can take a seat. For the families, you can stay as long as you want to. And if you decide to leave now, then that's perfectly wonderful too. Bim, bam, bim, 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 bam. Bim, 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 bam. Yai, nai, 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 bim, bam. Bim, 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 bam. Bim, 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 bam. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Bim, bam, bim, 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 bam. Bim, 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 bam. Yai, nai, 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 bim, bam. Bim, 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 bam. Bim, 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 bam. Please join me on page 127. 127. The reading begins with, I begin with a prayer, and it's 126. Shabbat Shalom, you guys. You can stay, but you need to be quiet. And if you can't be quiet, then you have to go home. I know. I begin with a prayer of gratitude. I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, nor English or Hebrew, no semantics and no services, but I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other. To work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created, and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us, and to bring that vision to life. Shabbat Shalom. As we're settling into this more peaceful part of the evening, I hope you can enjoy seeing some of that whirlwind of life unfolding too. This is the first Shabbat we're celebrating together during the month of Elul. Elul is a quiet month. It's a tender month. It is a month that invites all of us to sit a little more quietly than we usually do. Not only here in the synagogue, but throughout this entire couple of weeks. Not always to run and rush, but sometimes to just sit and wait for what will arise. So for the next couple of pages, I invite you to do exactly that. Just sit. The wine is spilled already. Don't worry about it, or whatever happened there. Oh, that's fine. Sorry, I have limited vision here. And just take a moment to see what there is. Feet that are healing, hips that are hurting, necks that are still stiff from the stress of the week. Maybe a head that is spinning from reading the news or watching debates or having opinions or not knowing what kind of an opinion you should have. Or, who would that be? No one in this room, I'm sure. And we just take a break from it all to listen what there is. Page 136. We begin with Psalm 29, the psalm that begins in many different ways Shabbat for us. Page 136. Mizmor leDavid, Havu l'Adonai b'nei Elim, Havu l'Adonai, Kavod v'oznai, Havu l'Adonai, Kevod shemo ishtachavu l'Adonai, V'hadrat kodesh, kol Adonai al hamayim, el hakavod hirim, Adonai al mayim rabim, kol Adonai ba'koach nay, kol Adonai be'hada, kol Adonai shover hazim, vayeshaber Adonai et hazeh halvanon, vayakidem kemo egel Levanon veSirion כמו ונרמים נאי 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 כל אדוני קודש כל אדוני יכיל מדבר יכיל אדוני מדבר קודש כל אדוני יכולי איילות ויחשוף יהרוס ובחלו כולו מרכבות נאי 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 אדוני למבול ישב וישב אדוני מלך לעולם אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום יאי נאי 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 Yai nai 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 yai nai nai yai nai yai nai 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 yai nai 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 yai 138 Lechadodi come come my friend walk walk rush rush Shabbat is here let's embrace her Lechadodi likat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela Lechadodi likat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela Shamo v'zachor b'dibur echad השמיענו אל המיוחד אדוני אחד ושמו אחד לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה לך דודי לקראת כלה שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה verse 5 התעוררי התעוררי B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Boi בשלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוכם בני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. And as this is the moment when traditionally mourners would enter the community, I want to especially welcome Daniel and Ellen Kaplan. It is a very big honor and joy, even in this time, to welcome you here in the synagogue. Page 140, the gentle psalm for Shabbat. Tov lehodot Adonai, Tov lehodot l'Adonai, uzamer לשמחה עליון, טוב להודות לאדוני, להגיד בבוקר חסדך, להגיד בבוקר חסדך, ואמונתך בלילות, ואמונתך בלילות, טוב להודות לאדוני. This Shabbat is Parashat Ki Tetzeh. It always reminds me of my first bat mitzvah girl in Switzerland, whom I tortured with the very beginning of this parsha. If in times of war you capture a virgin that you want to marry, and so forth. And I won't make that mistake tonight. But it gets better in the next sentences. If a householder has two wives, one loved and the other unloved, and both the loved and the unloved have borne him sons, but the firstborn, the son of the unloved one, when he wills his property to his sons, he may not treat as firstborn the son of the loved one in disregard of the son of the unloved one who is older. Instead, he must accept the firstborn, the son of the unloved one, and allow him a double portion of all he possesses, since he is the first fruit of his vigor. The birthright is his due. These are the sentences. Deuteronomy 21:15-17. And we listen to this, and we may wonder, even if the memory is hazy, the story of Abraham and his two sons, firstborn Ishmael, secondborn Isaac. the story of Isaac and his 2 sons. Firstborn Esau, secondborn Jacob. The story of Jacob and his many sons. Firstborn by the name of Reuben, very unknown person compared to Judah, Joseph, and others. So what do we make out of this? Every single one of our forefathers and mothers seem to have participated in one way or the other in breaking this very commandment laid out here in Deuteronomy. All of them had favorite sons. Often the favorite son was the son of the favorite woman. And very often that son was not the firstborn. And over and over and over again in the Torah, that secondborn or even sixthborn son gets all the fame, attention, and love. And maybe the breach of this commandment is one of the reasons that so many of the stories of the Torah are not only stories of the batteries are out. I need more batteries. Sorry. So, for the ones here in the space, I'm going to continue talking. This is only one example moments in which we watch our forefathers sin. When Abraham welcomes strangers to his tent, he utters the most famous sentences to his wife Sarah. Sarah, bring us the meat of a young goat and also lots of fresh milk and cheese. And we love that example of Abraham's kashrut and the way in which he kept his kitchen. It goes on. When Rachel's father hunts after her to bring her home and all the rest of his belongings, she sits on something and she doesn't want to let go. And what's in that something in her saddlebag are the little statues, the gods and goddesses of their home that she insists on bringing, never mind that this is the first monotheistic household. Then there are all the stories about all these people who call their wives their sisters. And we know that this is probably true, because while they may have shared a father, they had different mothers. Nevertheless, those marriages wouldn't be kosher today. Then we have a terrible story in which the person who led our people out of slavery was overcome by anger and killed another human being in an instant and without ever being put to trial for this. We have a sister that was eaten up by jealousy. And we have a brother of this person, Moses, Aaron, who was supposed to be the high priest and will become the high priest, and who not only stood by, but led the Israelites to their first incredible, awful, heartbreaking sin in the desert, and that was the worship of the golden calf. So here we are, our forefathers and mothers, a bunch of failures, sinners, human beings. We, in our nation, are maybe most famous for being a faith tradition that would allow a rabbi to stand on a bema and say these words. We are allowed to say, that wasn't correct, Abraham. I wish you would have acted differently, Moses. And I really don't get how God could oversee that grave sin of Miriam. We are the people who are very quickly pointing out the sins, even of our forefathers and mothers. We know when they were too quick to anger, too cowardly, and sometimes too sly. However, in less than a month from now, during the high holidays, we will say the exact opposite. Over and over and over, we're going to say, we here, we have sinned. We are nothing. We are failures. But zchut avotenu, because of the merits of our forefathers and mothers, forgive us, heal us, redeem us now. Zchut avot, the merit of our forebears, is a really important idea in Jewish thought. It indicates that no matter how righteous we think we are, we will never be righteous enough to outweigh the mistakes that we are making. It's only because of the merits of our ancestors that God continues to choose us, forgive us, and accompany us as God's people. We may think about this strange dissonance in two different ways. On the one hand, just reminding ourselves of how much better others were keeps us humble. And that maybe is the main purpose of this idea. No matter how much goodness we achieve in this world, it will always be outweighed by our wrongs and superseded by the goodness of our ancestors. Then, and that's the second aspect, it gives weight and honor to what we might call spiritual inheritance. This inheritance is far from flawless. Upon reflection, I think this is true for any kind of inheritance. We all inherit both merit and trauma, both riches and burdens, as a nation, as the Jewish people, as a part of the state of Israel, as members of families, congregations, communities, and even just yoga classes, because yoga has a dark history too. However, the inheritance that we receive from our Jewish ancestors is more than just a flawed inheritance. The meritful ancestors, the very same ancestors that we see sin, fail, and fall short over and over again in the stories of the Torah. So much so that even within the Torah, as we saw in this week's Torah bulletin, the Torah is putting up fences and boundaries against any similar behaviors. The Talmud gives us one more really interesting insight in how to look at those sins. It tells us that the gifts that kept the Jewish people alive, that is the manna that we ate in the desert, the pillars of smoke and fires that guided us, and the water that we found, were given in the merit of Abraham's hospitality to those three stranger angels. The teaching thus states, as a reward for the milk and butter which Abraham served to his visitors, they received the manna. As a reward for it, he stood over them to serve them, they received the pillar of the cloud. As a reward for let some water be taken to wash their feet, they received the well of Miriam. We, as a Jewish people, we were saved by the very acts of Abraham serving non-kosher food to strangers. This is a sin. It's a failure in kashrut. And at the very same time, it seems to have been the best and most right thing that he could have possibly done. So this is what I think we learn from all this. When we engage in just anything, when we do just anything, we cannot ultimately know if it is for the best or the worst. we have no way. We can only know our own intentions, and we will only be judged by these. But when judging the actions of others, we will also never know the ultimate truth about their intentions, and therefore in a state of healthy doubt. When we enter through the gates of Elul, this Hebrew month, we are invited to be reminded of exactly this, to look at our actions, our own actions and those of others, with humility and with doubt. None of us is as right and good as we think, and none of us is as bad or wrong as we think. Elul is the month of recognizing, admitting, investigating, and maybe, if we want and if we're able, of changing. It is a moment to begin to learn a deep truth. We are building the very basis on the very basis that others have laid for us. For this, we can be thankful. What we add unto these bases will be our contribution to the continuing story of building and destruction of our people. One thing is for certain. It might take many years and a different generation to look back to our time, and this might be as a nation, and this might be just within our family history, that someone can say, and this is the best thing they ever did, and this was maybe the worst thing they ever did. And it is on none of us here to judge. Shabbat Shalom. Please rise if you're able. Page 146 for the Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Vahed. Please be seated. 148. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher bidvaro Mahari v'avim El Chai v'Kayam Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Leolam Vahed. Baruch Adonai Hamari v'avim. 150. Ahavat Olam, with eternal love. ונשמח בדברי תורתך תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, ושבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. Page 157. This is the moment before Mi Chamocha. And as always, I like to use this moment to just think a little bit about ourselves here in this sanctuary, in this middle of September in Bozeman. Who are we? Are we singing right now? Are we staring at the mud between our toes? Do we make space for miracles? Are we too tired to pay much attention? If we look around, we're looking at a world in pain, war, and tension. This world needs a month of reflection, inner preparation, connections with others, with ourselves, with God. It is incredibly difficult to do this. And this week I really had 2 people in my office who cried because they said it is all too overwhelming, way too much, what's happening in this country, what's happening on this globe. I can't sit and sing Yadai anymore, which is okay. We don't always need to be able to sing Yadai. This is what I learned in these conversations this week that I wanted to give you on your way. There are 3 things that will help no matter what happens. The first one is a strong inner moral compass. If you have one, it's the greatest gift you can have. It's only if you have no sense anymore what's right or wrong that you can really go utterly wrong. The second one, after an inner moral compass, are deeply held values. Whether they are Jewish values, the values in your family, or the values that you created for yourself while raising your own kids or creating your own friendships. As long as you know what is most sacred for you in this world, you will never be tempted to give it up. And the third one is strong boundaries. It may not always be ultimately clear what there is to do, but sometimes at least it is ultimately clear what there isn't to do and what to say no to. And I really strongly believe that saying no sometimes can be the greatest act of bravery and sacredness we can commit to. Please join me, page 157, in a world. In a world torn by violence and pain, in a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The height heaven declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Through our failings are many and our faults are great. It has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then we shall rejoice, as Israel did, singing on the shores of the Red Sea. 158, Mi Chamocha, because that is what they sang. Mi Chamocha, Ba'elim Adonai, Mi Chamocha, Nehedar B'Kodesh, Norah Tehilot, Osef Eleh, Norah Tehilot, Osef Eleh, Malchutecha, אהוב עליך, בוקר היום, לפני משה ומרים, זה לי ענו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. Can we walk quicker? יאי די 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 די, יאי די 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 די, יאי די Page 162, for being held and for holding. ושמעו בני ישראל את השבת. Hold on a second. I made a mistake. ושמעו בני ישראל את השבת, את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם, לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום page 164, the silent Amida. Please rise if you're able. And for those pages of silent prayer, please follow the prayers. And if you also have that in you, we're about to enter a new year, 5,785. And just ask yourself, are you ready? And if you're not, what does it take to get ready for this new year? Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agitei hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, may my mouth may declare your praise. Please continue praying on your own pace. And you're allowed to smile a little when you get to our ancestors. And if this is the right moment for you, page 180, we'll say Shalom. Ose Shalom b'momam, uyase Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imu imu amen. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imu. Amen. Page 662. 662. The psalm for the month of Elul. שאלתי מאת אדוני אותה אבקש. אחת שאלתי מאת אדוני אותה אבקש. שבתי בבית אדוני כל ימי חיי, לחזות בנועם בנועם אדוני ולבקר בחלום. לחזות בנועם בנועם אדוני ולבקר בחלום. אחת שאלתי מאת אדוני אותה אבקש. אחת שאלתי מאת אדוני אותה אבקש. שבתי בבית אדוני כל ימי חיי, לחזות בנועם בנועם אדוני ולבקר בחלום. לחזות בנועם בנועם אדוני ולבקר בחלום. One thing I ask of Adonai, only that do I seek, to live in the house of Adonai all the days of my life, to gaze upon the beauty of Adonai and to frequent God's temple. This aesthetically a little doubtful translation hopefully will bring you a little sense of what this was supposed to be about. I learned this week a new poem by two members of this congregation who decided to add the yard site plaques for their parents onto our memory wall. And I wanted to share it with you as an opening to the concluding prayers for this community. It's called When Great Trees Fall. And at first it sounded familiar, but then it suddenly didn't. When great trees fall, rocks on distant hills shudder. Lions hunker down in tall grasses, and even elephants lumber after safety. When great trees fall in forests, small things recoil into silence, their senses eroded beyond fear. When great souls die, the air around us becomes light, rare, sterile. We breathe briefly. Our eyes briefly see with a hurtful clarity. Our memories suddenly sharpened, examines, gnaws on kind words unsaid, promised walks never taken. Great souls die, and our reality bound to them takes leaves of us. Our souls dependent upon their nurture now shrink, wizened. Our minds formed and informed by their radiance fall away. We are not so much maddened as reduced to the unutterable ignorance of dark, cold caves.
And when great souls die, after period peace blossoms, slowly and always irregularly. Space is filled with a kind of soothing electric vibration. Our senses restored, never to be the same, whisper to us, they existed. They existed. We can be and be better, for they existed. Please join me on page 300. 377. Please rise if it is your wish to rise, and if you wish to remain seated, please feel welcome to remain seated. We're looking, as we've always been looking, at the 7 candles. We are looking at the faces of the 6 hostages that were killed about 2 weeks ago in the tunnels under Rafah. And I want to add this week also the name of the Turkish-American civil rights activist who was killed in an accident this week while protesting in the West Bank. Her name, and I'm sorry if I don't, my Turkish is very rusty. Aysenur, I have one though. Aysenur Ezgi Egi. Please rise if you wish. Avinu, Avinu, Sheba Shamayim, Tzu Yisrael v'Goalo. Avinu, Avinu, Sheba Shamayim, Tzu Yisrael v'Goalo. Barech et Medinat Yisrael, Reshit Tzmichat Geulateinu. Hagen aleha bevrat chazdecha, ufas aleha sukat shelomecha. Avinu, Avinu, Sheba Shamayim, Tzu Yisrael v'Goalo. Avinu, Avinu, Sheba Shamayim, Tzu Yisrael v'Goalo. O Heavenly One, Protector and Redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shielded beneath the wings of your love, you may speak with me. Spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Amen. Please be seated for a moment. I know this community is saying Mishabara for Diane. She had toe surgery, which is more painful than we think. We're also saying Mishabara for Janelle, who's also in a boot. Anybody else underwent surgery, feels in need of just an extra blessing. So we say Mishabara for Billy. Page 371, Mishabach for the sick, and you may also think about yourself if you wish so. son, or you do not have to. I want to ask this community to rise. We're going to say Kaddish in memory of Max Kaplan, of Mike Shackman from Helena. Is there anybody else who wants to add a personal name for the Kaddish tonight? Jean Lehman and Ryan. Right? Okay. Page 598, Kaddish Yatom. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבם, ועלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחי יכון וביום יכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יש שמי רבא מבורך לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו. לאלה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יש לאמרה בה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו אמן. יהי זיכרונם לברכה. May their memory be for a blessing. Please take another quick seat. Page 627. In this month where the greatest duality seems to be between a very tumultuous outer world and hopefully a quiet, still inner world, maybe we're holding these two angels tonight. One angel that pulls us out of the house and says, Shabbat is not only for inside, and one angel that says, it's okay. Take some more moments of rest in the next 25 hours. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Bochem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei someone with whom you're comfortable enough, you may hold their hand. And if not, thank you. All hugs allowed. And if not, just take a moment for yourself. Shabbat Shalom. Yevarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha ve'yasem lecha shalom. May God bless you and protect you. May God's light shine upon you, and may you walk in God's light peacefully and quickly, if you want to, every day of your journey. There is a board member. There are 2 board members. Does one of you want to do the announcements, or should I make some announcements? Well, then I can announce it myself, I think. So, in the latest newsletter, you can find all the high holiday times and locations. Most of them will be here. We will begin the high holiday season with a slichot prayer on YouTube that you can watch at home at the end of September. I think it's September 28th on Zoom. And then Erev Rosh Hashanah and the morning of Rosh Hashanah are going to be here in the synagogue. There's going to be a community oneg, that is food and lunch and drinks. After the morning service, for you to just be here and connect with the rest of this community, which is usually a little bit more numerous, and maybe this year not because it's a Thursday, but the following weekend we have Shabbat Shuvah across Montana with the other rabbis and congregations in the state. That's on Zoom. On Saturday afternoon, we meet for Tashlich. That's the only thing at which it says location to be determined, because it's very late in the year, and I honestly don't know if we will make it outside or inside. We'll figure it out when we're there. Yom Kippur this year is on Friday night and Saturday morning, so I am assuming that the synagogue is going to be packed. If you wish to have seats in the front rows, please try to be a little on the earlier side. We are going to do a memorial service for October 7th as part of the Yizkor morning service. This is going to prolong an already long service, but it saved us from having a 15th service during these days of awe. I will not take it personally if very soon after you will decide to leave prematurely. That is okay. Then you can come back in the evening for Ne'ilah and break the fast. Yizkor is going to be part of the morning service for those of you for whom this is important. Sukkot is rather eventful. There's not only going to be a Sukkot service and Sukkot teachings, we're also going to have crop walk again. If you have any questions about crop walk, please, here's Suzanne, and she will tell you everything about the t-shirts we're doing and the money we're collecting, both for HRDC here in town and for Mazon, which is a globally acting Jewish organization that is fighting hunger. And in the evening of the very same day, unfortunately, we're going to have a concert here in the synagogue by Jewish singer-songwriter Ilana Hayden, who just moved to Big Sky and is very excited to introduce her voice and her art to this community. Tickets are $15 and you can pay her directly. But please come numerous and spread the word with all your Jewish and non-Jewish and Jewish friends, because I think it is going to be a wonderful concert and she's going to be very happy to be here with us. And then Simchat Torah, we're going to celebrate on the Friday night, and the following weekend there will be candy. And board president Sharon Tholt is going to give the sermon. And before any of this is happening, there's a book club meeting on September 29th. 8th. 9th. Not too bad. Okay, so I hope look into the newsletters. Be in touch with Cody and me if you have questions. We want everybody to know when to be where. We want you to know when there will be food. Of course, you can bring all the friends you want to bring. There's a small donation box for anybody who is not a member and who still wants to come and enjoy services. Please know that everybody is welcome. We will have armed security in the building for those of you for whom this is a concern, and we will have people within this congregation who are trained that in case this will be necessary, they will be able to guide you quickly outside. All that said, we feel wonderfully prepared. Thanks to Lynn Rosen here, so a big thank you to her. And also, we do not believe that there is a reason to feel immediately threatened, but we want you all to know we're prepared. And this is it, I think, right? Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. There is more grape juice, there is more wine, there is more challah. Please stay as long as you wish.